is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Happy New Year. Happy 2021, everyone. That's from Mohammed Omar. What is the latest point in the year or in the month of January that you can actually say Happy New Year to people? I feel like I haven't seen you lot. I think this is the first live we've done in 2021, and I just wanted to check in, say Happy New Year, find out how everyone's feeling. This coming Monday, is known as Blue Monday, the most depressing day of the year, statistically, apparently. So I wanted to inject a little bit of positivity before we hit Blue Monday, find out how everyone's doing. Let's share our feelings. Maybe if you've got a problem and you feel like talking about it, a problem shared is a problem halved, or we can divide it by however many people are watching the live, and we've got one joining us now. Happy New Year, Mac.
Happy New Year, Joe. How are you?
I know it's not your New Year. I've got Iranian friends that tell me, hey, Bobo, this is not the real New Year.
No.
New Year is in March, is in the start of spring and Nowruz. But this is the start of our calendar, the Gregorian calendar and the Julian calendar, my favourite calendar. So, yeah, what's your New Year's resolution? Apart from show up on time to the live stream, which should be my New Year's resolution as well.
It seems like I'll put on a bit of weight, so maybe go a bit more exercising. Exercise a bit more, maybe.
Yeah, get back to the gym. Oh, no, wait, we're not allowed in. Have you been doing home workouts?
I went for a walk today, funnily enough.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I thought
it's a very good form of exercise. This is the time of year when usually the gyms would be packed full, but obviously they're not. And I haven't noticed as many adverts for quitting smoking. That used to be a big thing in January because of all the New Year's resolutions. It's almost as if, like, because we lacked the big celebrations and the fireworks, it's like New Year didn't happen. Have you written the date incorrectly yet?
If you noticed, I think it was the first time ever, because usually Central London, everyone usually goes Central London for New Year's, isn't it? And people will be roaming the streets drunk, and then at the moment of New Year, everyone's kissing each other in the streets. And do you remember the old tradition that we used to have when we used to actually go down to Central?
It used to be the friendliest, or sometimes the only friendly night of the year, where you would walk past people and they would greet you in the street and wish you a happy New Year. But it hasn't happened this year. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a new year. In my mind, we're still stuck in 2020. I haven't got with the agenda yet of 2021. Amir Taki is saying, yes, Mac, long time, mate. Oh, this is one of your followers.
Salam, bro. Salam, how are you?
And that's great to see that he's watching through Facebook. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. And if you've got Sky Digital, we're on channel 666, for those of you that have got it. But what have we got to look forward to this year, Mac? What are your predictions for 2021? I want you to look into your crystal balls that you've got there.
I'm not Mystic Meg, but
yeah, but you Mystic Mac. You're Mystic Mac. Why not? Give us some Nostradamus level predictions.
I believe there may be a big war, possibly. Meaning big as in Iran against the West or whichever. That's a possibility.
I hope not. But Iran have just adopted home base. There are now
Well,
home base
yeah,
outlets all over Tehran, Shiraz, and Asfahan,
yeah.
half of the
No,
world.
the best thing to look forward to be quite frank, is in a few days, is Trump.
Goodbye, Trump. Hey, wait, we're going live now to the Maghreb. We go live to North Africa, where the local time, or maybe he's not in North Africa. What? MRX. Oh, he came and he went. This guy was complaining that it's 3 a.m. where he is. Where is it 3 a.m. at the moment?
Salam, bro.
Welcome, MRX. So hang on a minute. It's 3 a.m. That means he's ahead. So he's in the east. You're not in Morocco, are you? Man, he must be. He must be in one of those third world countries with no internet. Maybe he's in France.
I swear he looks like the Asian Johnny Bravo in a good way.
The Asian Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
Hey, hot mama. Yeah, maybe. I wonder where he is. Now, what have we got to look forward to, Mac? I know you said maybe a world war, which isn't really something to dread.
Let's hope not. It doesn't go to that extent, but no, I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping everything would be resolved in a peaceful manner. I mean, to be quite honest, Iranians they seem to be going on with the Geneva, every action they take is within the Geneva. Well, apparently, I think they've accelerated their program, but I'm not quite sure where it's going to go from there. That's what I'm saying. It's getting a bit out of hand from each side. So let's hope it's diffused in a very good way. But we
do you
also
feel
have a problem.
like what's the problem you have? Well, we've got plenty of problems. But just on Iran, do you feel like Joe Biden will have a better relationship with Iran than Donald Trump did? Because it seems at the minute America, they've got rivals. Yeah. Okay. Why do you think so?
Well, it was under the Obama administration, which Joe Biden was working in, who I think made the original deal with Iran, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Trump reneged on that. Just want to let everyone know, if you want to get involved in this discussion, it is 07491 751 203. Tell me how the year is going for you. Maybe it got off to a flying start and maybe it's not going so well. We do want to touch on mental health. I think on Monday night, the most depressing night of the year, we're going to give the whole show over to people maybe sharing their feelings. A great friend of mine, Tom, who kindly allowed me to share the video that he put on his Facebook. He is on a mission at the moment to help save men from the number one killer, which is sadly suicide, and the mental health issues that are driving the spike in male suicides in men, especially young men, is something we should all really be thinking about, talking about. And I'm not an expert, I'm not a psychologist, but I think if we can share our feelings and become more accustomed to talking about those kind of issues, maybe we can save some people, which would be great. So we always talk about the big issues on this channel. I say big issues, I mean the international issues, but we also want to talk about the personal issues, which can be just as big, just as important. And I got a load of abuse earlier on because I put up one of my funny little edited videos. I know you're a fan of them, Mac. Not everyone likes them.
Yeah.
I was making fun of Matt Hancock again, as you know, it's quite easy to do. And we've got a call.
Right. Julian just disappeared. Oh, I'm sure he's gonna come back. Wow. Julian? I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, we should be there. Mac, you're there. I've got a caller. Who's this?
Hello, it's Daryl here.
Daryl, welcome. Not Daryl Gould that I went to school with.
No,
Okay.
Daryl Mostert.
Daryl who?
Yeah. I've been to school, right?
Oh, good stuff. How are you doing, Daryl?
Very good. I was worried about what your friend was it Mac said about there being a world war.
World War III possibly.
But that's a negative, really.
True.
I wonder maybe we do need a war. And I agree with Mac.
Who's we, Daryl?
There could be we, the world.
The world, okay. But if we have a war...
And it might sound like I'm being odd, but maybe I kind of feel like things in the world need to get worse for them to get better sometimes, you know?
Could it get any worse? And who would the war be between?
Well, can you tell him? I
hope Daryl can hear you, but go on, you tell him, Matt.
Basically, I was just going to say, most nations that I'm seeing are protesting against the government.
So, Daryl, Matt's saying most nations are protesting against the governments. Daryl, where do you see the turmoil erupting the most? You said it could be anywhere and you don't care where, but if you had to put money on it, let's have a bet. Who will the World War III be between?
I wonder if there will be a war with, of course, it'll be America and someone. The question is, who is that someone? You know, and I do think that people are rebelling more against their governments. People are expecting a higher standard. People demand the truth that people want to seek more than ever now. However, they seem to be seeking it through things such as Facebook or ridiculous places. But I think things need to get worse before they get better, because COVID has stopped to make us think a bit. But look at the conditions in America now. There's like almost a civil war going on.
Well, there was an incident in the capital. That's for sure. Do you think America is a force for good in the world, or are they a negative?
I think it's not so black and white. Are they a force for good? For some people, they're a force for good. For some people, they're a force for bad. And until they have that unifying outlook and realising that it doesn't matter if, like Mac, or whatever, he's an Arab, for example, that's okay.
We've had this debate before, Daryl, or someone has. Mac's not. Mac's he's from the Middle East, but he's not an Arab. Daryl can't hear you. Daryl can't hear you, but
I thought he's from Iran.
Yeah, he's from Iran, which is not an Arabic majority country. There are a few Arabs in Iran, but they're majority Persians, and a few Azeris as well, and a few Kurds. But they're Iranians. They're not generally Arabs.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Arab, as an Arab speaker, Mac will obviously, he would be considered bad for some people and the rest of it. But until they can say, look, all right, Mac speaks Arabic, that's fine.
Yeah,
he's one of us.
That's right.
And until we have this unifying world vision, then I'm not saying everyone needs to learn to speak Arabic. Obviously, Mac's learned English, and that's well done for that, Mac. I appreciate that. I do.
Super.
He's made to communicate with the rest of the world. But I think we need to see things as a brother and a sister. I should be able to stand next to my Arab brother and say, Mac, you and I are one. Stand next to you and say, you and I are one.
Daryl, are you an Arab? May I ask? No.
I've got nothing against it. I'm not anti-Arab. I've got plenty of Arab friends. I went to a mainly Indian school.
Nice. While we're on the subject, what is your definition of an Arab? Because we debate this on this channel quite a lot. Because I did a video about an Algerian chap who was trying to deny the Arab identity of Algeria, and it caused a lot of problems. I mean, some people in Algeria regard themselves as Arabs, and some don't. In Iran, well, it's very different, as I'm sure you know. But yeah, it's one of those identities that's kind of fluid. Like, are Somalians Arabs? Probably not, but they're a member of the Arab League somehow. So I don't know.
So as my friend used to say, he says he uses the acronym LAUGH, like to laugh, and as to where you're from, and it's your language, the animals you have the most of, and then the food. So, if you're speaking Arabic, you've got not everyone associates Arabs with like having camels there and that Middle Eastern sort of thing, like you do in Iran, and then the food, obviously, like the kebabs and that. So, so really, I think it's a way of, just a culture. I don't know too much about it.
Daryl, I want you to do a little mental exercise for me now, okay?
Yeah.
All right, just close your eyes.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Picture a desert landscape.
Yeah.
And you see a camel galloping towards you. Not too fast, but quick enough. Can you see it, Daryl?
Yeah.
Daryl?
Yeah, yeah.
How many humps does the camel have?
How many what?
Humps.
To be honest, I'm picturing my food with mac on it, so I can't see the humps.
Come on, Daryl. Is he in the middle of two humps, or is he clutching on to one big hump? What is it?
In the middle of two.
You're wrong. He's not. He's not. Do you know the difference between the two camels, Daryl?
Mac.
Yeah, Mac. I'm sorry, Mac. In Iran and other Arab countries, what camel is it?
Basically, I know about black sheep. Have you any wool? I grew up here. I went nursery.
Okay, Mac's saying that he grew up on Baba black sheep. Now, the reason I just bring that up is because I always imagined. In fact, I think this is the case. Camels have two humps. The one with one hump is the dromedary. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. But the dromedary is far more common than the camel. I think the two-humped camel is mainly in possibly Mongolia. What's the desert in Mongolia, Daryl?
There's the Mongolian desert.
The Mongolian, that's the one, the Mongolian desert. Whereas the desert, the Sahara in North Africa, and I think the camels that they have in the Middle East are the vast majority of them dromedaries, aka one-humped camels. What's that?
The Gobi Desert.
There you go. The Gobi Desert. That's where you get the two-humped camels, and they're far rarer than the one-humped dromedary camel that is found throughout the Middle East in most Arab countries. Isn't that right, Mac?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about this. Mac has sold out. That's what 33X is saying. And Pat Riot is saying the difference is 1,800 miles. That's the difference between the two types of camel. Brilliant.
Well, I didn't cause difference to Mac.
No. They're very, very understanding people, the Arabs. I wouldn't worry about it. Daryl, thanks so much, mate.
But Julian, this is my point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Right? Whether Mac is like, whether he in his village in Iran he has like one hump or two humps, it doesn't make any difference. Whereas in the Gobi Desert they'll have the one hump or two hump. The Mongolians, the Arabs, the British, we're all the same. We've all got two legs, two arms. I mean, as long as we're not disabled, or amputees. But like, we're all the same. And until we start seeing each other as the same, we can't see as, oh, I'm from Iran, I'm representing the Arabian Desert. I'm from America, I'm representing Texas. Like, we should be thinking, I'm from whatever country, and I'm representing people with hearts, and that's what we need to focus on.
Daryl, you've made it. Beautiful point, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
I hope you haven't got the hump. Cheers, mate. That was Daryl there. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm sorry about the the confusion over your identity, man. That's something we should make clear here. We don't agree with everything the caller said. But yeah, I think the long and short of it was positivity. all embracing and not looking at differences and fighting over silly little things like how many humps your camel's got. The lines are free. If anyone else wants to get involved, you are very welcome. And that number again is 07491 751 203, or alternatively, you can click on the link and you'll get on the screen, like Omar X attempted to, but he was unable due to his poor internet connection. 33X is saying Daryl for PM. I think that's a vote for the Prime Minister. I wanted to have a look at the comments. I was going to talk to you about on. Never mind. Let's not get bogged down with negativity. But you can't win sometimes with some people.
No, the thing is, the funniest part is the way I would explain it. Sorry, it's like German and English. You have the same characters in the alphabet, but complete different language.
Mac, don't worry about it. I'm
just explaining.
Here's a little poll.
Different culture.
Here's a little poll for the viewers. Was Daryl for real, or was he a professional troll? Because he certainly got to Mac. We go to line 2.
No,
or is it Daryl calling back? Daryl, are you there? Is that Daryl?
Hello?
Hello? Who's this?
Yes, hello?
Hi, you're live.
My name's Triple T.
It's Triple T.
Thank you.
What a pleasure. Go on, how's life? Happy New Year, mate.
And
are you calling us at 3 a.m.?
I just wanted to mention there's an election taking place in Uganda.
Okay.
And
you called about
Bobby
the election.
Wine, who was a former pop star, who is almost the president right now in our last 3 just like hello?
Just
like you were watching the US election on your channel.
Oh yeah.
And I think
we're very big on elections. That was a huge election.
I'm sorry?
Said we had a huge election last year.
Huge one too.
And we live streamed.
Because
what? Yeah.
It's a little person.
It's a cryptic message here. There's an election in Uganda. Yeah.
You know how long I hadn't heard the call been like that? Because literally calls have been so crystal clear lately.
I know. Well, we've lost a caller that wants to talk about the election in Uganda. Yeah, I have seen little bits and pieces about the election in Uganda. Maybe we will catch up on events in East Africa. Is it the Horn of Africa? Is Uganda the Horn of Africa? I'm not sure that it is. It's certainly East Africa and part of the Swahili world, isn't it? Swahili speaking world. Yeah, so we could pick up on that. Daryl, who's that?
Hello there.
Hi.
Hello there. It's Sean.
Sean. Is that Sean SEAN or SHAWN?
SHAWN.
Got you. How are you doing, Sean?
Very good. I was just listening to this. Daryl. I don't agree with everything he was saying. I think he was making some good points, really.
All right. What did you like about what he said?
Well, really, we need to look at each other as kind of one human race, really. You know.
Yeah. Right.
I think that's really important. And I don't know what the Uganda triple T was. That sounded kind of strange to me.
We're all one person, Sean. I mean, sometimes two different people can be the same person, in a way.
Well, it's true. It's true. I mean, true. But here's. I wanted to talk about something slightly different, if I can.
Anything goes on this channel. Anything goes, apart from the things I can't mention.
Well, I wanted to talk about a particular country.
We can't talk about that. Which one? What is it? What letter does it begin with?
There's two. One starts with the letter I.
What's the second letter?
Iceland and Greenland.
That's fine.
These are places that really may be affected with the whole global warming situation that we have. And I want to really know what you guys think about what lessons we could have learned from 2020. And I know you're talking about 2021 and what's happening there, but I really think that we really understood the lessons that the lessons that we could have from 2020, and I think it's important to reflect on that.
Mac, lessons from 2020, and if you can bring in Greenland and Iceland, go for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Tesla cars are out. If cars should be more electronic like Tesla.
All right, so we should have more electronic cars. That's one option.
Well, the emission.
For the lower emissions, yeah. I don't know. I saw the Northern Lights in Iceland 2 years ago, and it was absolutely incredible. Sean, have you been to Iceland? Is that why you brought it up?
No, I've not been to Iceland, but I work with someone who's from Iceland. Okay. And it's very worrying. It's all right for us here, in the UK to kind of not be too put out by it, but it's when these things start to really hit you.
No, we don't need to worry too much. I think there's too much worry. Everything will be okay. Just worry about yourself, Sean. If you look after yourself and make sure you're okay, and make sure your next door neighbour's okay. She might be an old lady. Go and help her with the shopping. Wear a mask, obviously. Then everything will be okay. I think if we start panicking about the global whatever, you're going to lose sight of the smaller picture. And I think all this fear, all this anxiety that people have got about what's going on at a global level can really distract you from what's happening at a local level, on a family level.
But Julian, can I counter that?
Yeah, go on. I thought you would.
To me, what you're saying is like you're driving in a car and just make sure the glove compartment is clean and the door card is clean. There's no rubbish in the car, but the car is driving towards a wall. And sometimes by focusing on the micro, you miss the macro. You miss the bigger picture. So I don't think that's necessarily a very helpful analogy.
Yeah, but I could say to you that you're trying to control the traffic, but you're only one man in one vehicle. You can only drive your car and the people and look after the passengers that are in your car. So obviously clean the engine, but you can't clean everyone's engine. Like this whole, I don't want to talk too much about the global health situation at the moment, and people are talking about rules and whether people are not following them and blaming people for not following the rules. You can't blame a group of people for something. We can't. If the rules are not being followed, well, then we need a new system that will work. We can't just complain and say, "Oh, be better." Society needs to follow the rules. We need to find something that we can follow. And I appreciate that you come on here, Sean, with a positive message, and you want, I think, the world to be better. But you've got to start with number one. I don't know what Mac thinks about that, and Sean, you're going to struggle to hear what Mac says, but I'll paraphrase it. Mac, what's your take on Sean's global concerns?
No, if I wanted to get into it, explanatory, but on brief, yeah, I agree.
All right. Yeah, I don't know, Sean. I hope you don't feel that you phoned me up and I've disagreed with you or belittled your point, but go on.
The whole point is to have discussion. I don't come on to argue.
I just get so depressed when people start panicking, and little people like Greta, who I know has a good intention, but I think you're doing a lot of damage as well by making children think that the world's not going to be here in 30 years. Yes, there are things we can all do things to improve the environment or whatever, but I also think that the panic.
I mean, if the icebergs melt, it's going to be hard to reverse those effects.
Yeah, Max saying that if the icebergs melt, I don't know enough about this topic. But Daryl, what are you suggesting we do? Sorry, this is Sean. You sound a bit like Daryl. What's the? We're all one person at the end of the day. What's your take?
Maybe we should ask yourselves as a Daryl, but no, I think the thing that I'm trying to say, and it's an interesting point, is where do you draw the line? There's one side kind of says we should focus as much as we can on ourselves and not try and busy ourselves with the bigger picture, but then again the bigger picture's important as well, and I think it's a case of trying to try and find that line, and that's all I'd say. But thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Sean, you're welcome anytime, mate. Thank you. Sloan Nabil, thank you very much. That's Sean there. We got hold of Mr. Up All Night. Omar X, are you there?
Live and clear, sir.
We can see you, and now we can hear you. Thanks for getting in touch.
Thank you.
What's the year looking like for you?
For me, so far, not so great. I was texting a friend 4 days ago, and
what type of friend? Girlfriend?
A very nice, a very nice gentleman. I was texting him, and sadly, we were on a group communicating, and sadly, when I woke, I saw a message saying they had passed away. So the last 3 days have been.
I'm so sorry.
My condolences.
I'm so sorry.
40. Around my age, 43, I think, 42, 43. And,
that's so sad.
Yeah, just suddenly. But then I thought to myself, you know what? That's the best way to go, because it was a sudden heart attack. I didn't have to go through that hell with Corona and all this. So yeah, that was it was a big shock. So I've been kind of like, you get a reality shock now and again in life. So after that, I've been following Bobby Wine's election, which has been very interesting.
Bring us up to date on that, because this is a story that we've neglected to cover yet, and it's very important. And Africa is a forgotten continent sometimes. When something happens in Europe, we all know about it. What is happening in Uganda with a new? Is he going to be president, prime minister? It's a president over there, isn't it?
I think it is yes, president. The story there is Bobby Wine was a singer. He grew up in the slums of Uganda in Kampala. And this man, I think, last 3-4 years, he became an MP, and he worked his way up to become presidential candidate. And further on now, he's been challenging this man who has been in power for the last 36 years, who is in his 70s, who is 76. And Uganda, they had a rule that when somebody reaches the age of 74, they can't run for president. And all of a sudden,
lucky they don't have that rule in America.
And he just decided to change the law. And it just goes to show how lucky we are in this country that we can protest, nobody kills us, we can do so much more in our lives than what ordinary people can. This man, Bobby Wine, who was he was probably like Akon, I think, over there, very popular singer, known all over the country. He used his popularity to become involved in politics, and he done really, really well. But sadly, the vote rigging is so rife that they've even, at first they banned Facebook, and on the last day of elections, they even banned the internet. So there's no internet in Uganda right now. So nobody knows what's going on. People
most things are banned on Facebook anyway. If Facebook isn't banned, then Facebook will ban whatever else. There's so much censorship coming from all angles.
No, it's literally all social media was banned. So the last 3 days, so at first it was Facebook.
There's always a way around it. You can always get an app, a VPN,
I disagree.
or whatever it is. I was on the internet when I was in the Islamic Republic of Iran. I was on Facebook. I was on dating apps. I was on a lot of it. This is
that's something different, maybe. But if there's no internet, I don't know how you're going to go on those apps. It's impossible to go on those.
There is, but in Iran there is. Okay, I get you. So not just he's blocked websites, he's blocked the internet. I thought the internet was everywhere. Does it not exist in the air, like, you know, electricity and gravity?
Yeah, it's through satellites.
Yeah.
Well, apparently not. I think in countries like Uzbekistan, they have internet all over.
Is that
the
a real
country?
country?
Jeremy Corbyn. Yes, it is. Yeah.
I thought that was a made-up country.
No, it was a country that just had a war with Armenia. You may have heard.
Azerbaijan.
Next to Azerbaijan.
Next to Azerbaijan is Azerbaijan. So
Azerbaijan and
over, yeah. Sorry, Mac.
many more stans.
How many stans can you name?
Quite a few.
Come on, let's see.
It gets confusing.
Wait, stop talking, Mac. Mac is going to go first, then Omar, then Mac, and we're going to see who drops first. You have to name a stan, and it has to be a real place in the world.
One by one, is
Mac.
it? Or
yeah, one by one. Mac.
All right. Tajikistan.
Excuse me? What?
Tajikistan. Well, I can't say it now. Sorry. Wait.
I will accept Tajikistan. Omar X, your turn.
That's it.
Kazakhstan.
I will accept. Mac.
Afghanistan.
Omar.
Well, naturally Pakistan, I guess, next door.
Good call. Mac.
Uzbekistan.
Omar X.
Dagestan.
Dagestan. Okay, good. Not an independent country, but it is a region in Russia. If you've just joined us on Lessons for Life, we're having a stan off. It's Mac's turn.
TikTok. I don't think I can come up. No, I don't.
Mac, that's it. You're all stand out. Triple T, did you have anything left?
I think I would have gone with Hindustan.
Oh, wait.
Oh, well, no, sorry, Mac. No.
Where Borat come from?
There's no coming back in. When it's gone, it's got. You're out.
Whatever it's called. Where's Borat from?
From Kazakhstan.
I'm going to take over. Right, I'm jumping in. So, Omar X, I'm going to say Kurdistan.
Baluchistan.
Mac, you're out. You're out.
I'm coming with it, bro.
He's jumping back in.
You coming back in? Well, it's a riot now, and there's Pat Riot. Waziristan. Let's just reel them off.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
And I think the Persian word for graveyard is Khobaristan, land of the graves.
Same in Urdu, actually.
I think you're right. Yeah.
There you go.
Same in Urdu.
We've got Dagestan in the chat. You could have had Kyrgyzstan, if you're familiar with that one. That's if you're a real stan connoisseur. And of course, I think that Stan Collymore is the only other one we forgot to mention.
Oliver Stan.
Good game. We should have more games. We should have a quiz night. Yeah. What's Owen asking? Is he the Ugandan Trump? Is he a populist? This Bobby Wine. Is he on the right? Is he on the left?
No. Bobby.
Is he like Idi Amin?
Well, after Idi Amin, the guy took over. His name is very difficult to pronounce. A very African name. It's almost like Mussolini, actually.
Is it? You couldn't pronounce it, so.
Mussolini or something.
Is his name George Quingo?
Well, it's very difficult to pronounce, but
Phone Jacker fan, I know Mac is. Who took over after Idi Amin?
Well, this guy.
They probably only had, so they have like one. They've had like one since. You know, it's a
36
dictator
years.
when it's like, oh, how many leaders have you had since that guy in the Second World War? Oh, just the one, maybe two. Like,
but it's really
I don't
great.
know.
It's really great to hear that there is one guy out there who's literally risking his life for the little people out there in this
For
world.
the little guy.
It's amazing all the little people, all the poor kids, and I mean,
I can
think
see
we
you're
had
really enamored with him.
Yeah, well, Imran Khan. Sorry, my camera stick is all over the place. But Imran Khan was a very similar person who started.
Someone who came from outside politics. Do you think people are longing for someone outside of the mainstream, outside of the career politicians? This is a question I want to ask you both. Who is the greatest ever long shot that managed to get elected? Who came from outside politics, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor of California, someone like that, or an Imran Khan, a cricketer? Who's your best long shot in politics?
Well, all over the world, you have a two-party system. Everywhere you go, you've got Republicans and Democrats. Here we've got Labour and Conservative. Same in Australia and beyond. Even in, I was going to say that Middle Eastern country, but everywhere you go, it's the two-party system. But there's one country that has a three-party system, and that country is Pakistan. Imran Khan, with zero experience with politics, just got up one day and started a party.
So they've got the Noon League, right?
Yeah.
And the Imran Khan party, what are they called?
Imran Khan's party is PTI, yeah.
Okay. But, so there you go. Pakistan win.
But he came from nowhere. But the difference but he was still a hotshot. He was well known all over the world for his cricketing success.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you've got to be famous.
With Bobby Wine. Bobby Wine grew up in the slums, so it's a really honourable thing that somebody from the slums can achieve this height in success.
Well, there was a great Bobby who was elected to the UK Parliament in the 1980s, although he didn't want to be part of the UK. I'll let the viewers guess who that was. Probably my favourite politician, but there is the London elections coming up, and Brian Rose of London Real, another outside long shot. You know London Real. You watch that channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, they interview quite a lot of the big names.
He's an American.
He's actually, he's an American guy. He's an ex-banker, and he's started a whole new life as a broadcaster and interviewer and content creator, and he is now second place, second favourite, just behind Sadiq Khan, the incumbent, the Labour candidate. He's ahead of the Tories, ahead of Lib Dems, ahead of UKIP, ahead of all the other independents. I think the guy has done incredibly well, even to get his name on the ballot and be the second favourite. So good on Brian Rose for doing it for the independents. Not to be the mayor of London, to be the president of America. You have to be born in America to be the mayor of London. You don't have to be born here. And Boris Johnson, I remind you, was not born here. He was born in America. He could be the president of America one day, should he choose to. He's got American citizenship. So get back to America, bloody foreigner. Pat Riot is saying Tom Bell. Who's Tom Bell? Do we know?
Nope.
Shame on me. Going to need some explanation on that. But yeah, Mac, who's your favourite outsider to make it in politics?
I guess.
Don't say the Shah of Iran. Because he was installed by the outsiders. Who would you say? Yeah.
I'll probably say Fidel Castro.
Very good, Fidel Castro, from quite a well-off background.
Che as well. Was it Che? What's his name again?
Oh, Che Guevara. Che Guevara Lynch, the Irish Argentine revolutionary, also from a privileged background. Owen Keeling is saying Bojo for the White House 2024. It could happen. Don't bet against it. I mean, Trump is another one of these guys that came from outside, right? He's a
I was gonna say here,
TV
but
star.
He ruined everything for us, bro. Before, the respect that he had, he just as a president, he just turned all that respect away. You
respected him for the ice cream glove, did you?
Oh yeah, the allergy thing. Yeah, the allergy idea.
But this is the thing. We're so familiar with him now, and after 4 years, just that's the president. But 5 years ago, it was inconceivable that he would make it to the top. But it's funny what we get used to.
Well, he's a very wealthy man, and when you have enough money, you can almost do anything.
Never when you're paying 650, how much did he pay tax? When you're paying that much amount of tax, you're gonna end up being
apparently not much.
Yeah, was it 750?
It's not much. As Bill Gates says, I didn't get rich writing checks. The richer you are, the more you can afford to avoid. I mean, how many rich people spend 9 months of the year out of the country just so they don't have to pay the tax? But what I would do if I was that rich, I don't know. It's easy for us to judge. I mean, Sir Sports Personality of the Year, Mr. Racing Car Driver. What's he called?
Hamilton.
Hamilton. That's right.
Hamilton. And Apple as well.
Richard Hamilton.
The Apple, they've also gone on a separate item which can't be taxed as well.
Really?
Yeah. I think the Isle of Wight, I don't know which one. It's one of those.
Isle of Man, I think, is the tax haven. Yeah. I'm not sure that the Isle of Wight is a tax haven.
Isle of Man,
don't think that's why David Icke went to live there. I could be wrong. But I want to get Triple T Omar X, aka whatever his name is, to. Would you come back on Monday, Omar, if we do mental health?
Currently with Corona, I've got my own mental health issues.
Well, that's why we want you. Not even joking. Because a friend of mine, I don't know if you saw the video, got a mate called Tom, shared a very personal confession, he called it, about his mental health issues and how he wants to help other people that have struggled with things like anxiety and panic attacks and all the rest of it. So we're going to hand over Monday night to that because it is statistically the most depressing day of the year. Yeah, go on, Mac.
I've noticed one thing is, people that cut your hair tend to be like a good psychiatrist at the same time as well.
Yeah.
That for me.
Why is that? Yeah, because he says, I cut hair. That's his opening line. I cut hair. And you'll be amazed to know the number of people that come and speak to me about their mental health. Why do you think the barber, the hairdresser, is in a similar position to the counsellor or the psychiatrist? I said psychiatrist because they're facing the same way. I don't know if it's true when psychiatrists say come and sit on the couch. The patient is always seen to be facing the other way. Is that true? I don't know if that happens. But
I find that with taxi drivers also.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
I find that there's psychiatrists.
So it's like, and it's I think true.
Bartenders as well. You go, you have a couple of shots and talk to the bartender.
Is it that case of anonymity? Yeah,
bartenders are there to do
Astaghfirullah.
I'm just saying,
has never met a bartender.
Really?
No, I think with bartenders, they're at work. They've got other people to serve, so you don't want to really keep them too long and talk. rubbish. You know, they've got things to do and they wash glasses.
If it's your local spot, for example, a pub like East Enders, when you watch,
if it's your local and you're getting if you're getting the usual,
is it
I
the
think
Queen
the local
Vic?
pubs
You go
are
into
dead
the
and
Queen
gone.
Vic.
No, you've been watching too much EastEnders. Local pubs are on their way out.
the
There's
Queen
hardly any
Vic.
left, really.
But I just thought it was the lack of eye contact. I mean, with a bartender, you can't even hear what they're saying. You're having to shout.
True.
I said Diet
But I
Coke.
swear Mitch used to get involved in people's business behind the. Even though he's worked tending the bar, he'd still get involved in other people's business and affairs.
Possibly.
Barbara as well.
But it's this
Only in Albert.
level, this idea of being able to speak to someone openly, but with a level of anonymity. And it's why phone-in radio used to be great before we switched over to live streaming. And now, you know, Matt can see my face and he's too embarrassed to tell me his problems, or I'm too embarrassed to tell you my problems. I don't know if you've seen that Danish cartoon. It's not funny. Pat Riot is saying, my mistake thinking about Martin Bell, who won against Edwina Currie as an independent MP in the 80s, anti-corruption. Oh, yeah, Martin Bell. And isn't he the great newscaster, war correspondent who got shot while wearing his lucky socks? I think that's who Martin Bell was. That's a good nomination there from Pat Riot. I predict a riot. Owen Keeling saying Barber's been closed for how long now? I think you can tell how long the Barbers have been closed if you just have a look at the old length there. But yeah, Monday night, OMRX, we'll think of a format. Maybe you could, have you got any poetry on the topip?
Always have poetry.
Have you got something for everything? If you've got anything on... Oh, don't put him on the spot.
I'm sorry?
Mac's trying to put you on the spot.
Poetry is always nice, but
it is always. I mean, look, Omar, you're welcome to share anything you want. This is what this channel is about. But if we give you a bit of warning and say maybe Monday night, if you could read us some poetry that touches on the topic of depression, mental health, even, dare I say it, suicide, which is what we're trying to prevent with all this. That would be really great. Pat Riot is confirming that it was... yeah, that's great, mate. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And Mac, will you be there Monday night?
Yeah. Trust me, I've been having... My mum had a heart operation last year, so I was at the break of, you could say, nervous breakdown, really. Because obviously my father's passed away and my brother's passed away, so for me it's just... Yeah, I've been on edge as well. I'm not going to lie, this pandemic's done a toll on me as well. So yeah, definitely I can learn a thing or two perhaps from other people's experiences as well.
Yeah, man, we'll learn and we'll share. As I say, there's no pressure. Don't feel you've got to come on and do something or share something. But that's what we're going to do on Monday night.
The only way you can address the issues if you talk about them, isn't it? And obviously, other third opinion.
Definitely. So we'll be back Monday night. Omar, are you in Morocco? Where are you? Did you tell us where you were?
Friday. You're not able to come back after. Was it because it was Boris?
Oh yeah, don't get locked out of the country.
If you don't come back
wherever you
Sunday,
are, then you're never coming back.
And until you get vaccinated. No, seriously, bro. Until he'll get vaccinated.
That's okay, Mac. It's okay. It's okay. Whether we are separated, if we're in different countries, whatever the rules are, we will have the internet. If they block the internet, like in Uganda, we all talk to each other somehow. I'll be sending Omar X a fax, or even even spiritually. If they shut everything down, we will know
just something
that we are
something
here.
Unrelated, but how did David Blaine and others read people's minds? I'm always fascinated. That's just impossible to do.
Well, we'll do it. We'll do one now. We'll do one now. Omar X, I want you to think of any number from 1 to 5, okay? Between 1 and 5, okay? Between 1 and 5, okay?
Okay.
But so not 1 or 5, but between 1 and 5, okay? Somewhere
So
between.
2, 3.
Okay, you with me?
So 2, 3, or 4.
And it has to be an odd number, okay? So no evens.
Okay.
You got it?
Get out of here.
Okay.
But I mean, they had that Aussie girl that used to be Neighbours with David Blaine reading a book, picking any sentence out of the book, out of any page, and he was able to read her mind and say, that's the sentence. And I thought, how is that even? Is there like,
As
it's just
David
impossible
Blaine
to
said,
do.
it's all because of the magic.
So
Owen
I have
Keeling.
a Muslim friend who told me that they have something called jinn. The jinn just told David Blaine what she was reading.
This guy cracks me up. I have a Muslim friend. MashaAllah, you have a Muslim friend. Inshallah, you get another Muslim friend.
By the way,
Bismillah, you will have all Muslim friends soon. Owen Keeling saying, I don't see a massive war for 2021. Don't be so pessimistic, Mac. I think it will be tough, but I'm optimistic. Owen Keeling, it's all good. And it's me, so it is saying, making me think 3. Compelled thought, freedom of thought on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, mainly men. I know we're 99% men on this channel. That's why I'm reaching out to all the men who are struggling with their masculinity. We will be back on Monday night at 10 p.m. Whether you're male or female, you're welcome, and we will talk mental health. This has been Lessons for Life. We'll do it all again soon. We were here, and we're gone. Yes.